Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. In this video, I am going to continue to work on my mini journals, my friends. If you have not been following along, I am sharing my process of how I upcycle empty soap boxes to make mini journals. I am sharing my process from start to finish. I have posted, I think, 2 videos before this one. The first video is how I made the cover. Second video is prepping paper for signatures. And in this video, I am going to embellish the signatures and the cover of the journals. I will post those other videos in this general area here throughout so that you can catch up if you're interested. In this video, I am just going to share the work with the one journal. There's no point in doing it twice. One is good. And within the book, there are 3 signatures. I did embellish 2 of the signatures. I'll share with you my process of embellishing the 3rd signature from start to finish. As I said, I did embellish 2 of the signatures already. And this is what the covers of those signatures look like. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I loved that I got to finally use these picture strips I've had in my stash forever. These are picture strips by Tim Holtz. I don't know what the official name of these are, but I just call them picture strips because, you know, that's what they are. And I absolutely adore them, and I love that I finally got to use them. They are the perfect size for the covers of the signatures. I have been picking some of my favorite pictures, trimming them, inking them, and collaging them to the front of the signatures. I've also created some pockets, did some stamping and some stenciling. And that is what I'm going to share with you for the 3rd signature today. I have already selected the pieces that I want to use. I love this picture. Isn't that a great picture? I want to use this picture. This is the trim for the cover of the signature. I use this same trim on all of the signatures. It is by Ken Oliver. It's called Vintage Trims by Meyer Road. And I got this way back when. It's called, here's the name of it, Scallop Dots. Hopefully that's focusing. And I got this at Tuesday morning, way back when. Tuesday morning used to have good things. They don't anymore. I don't go there anymore. But let's start there. Let's start by adding the trim. I'm going to use my fabric tack. Maybe, if I didn't glue it shut. Might have. There we go. So I hope everyone is doing well. Today is Sunday. Trying to get some crafting in before I have to leave for a vet appointment for my dog. Just a wellness check. He's way overdue. He's probably not going to be happy about it, but it's necessary. He needs to get his rabies updated. He also is probably due for some other boosters. And they probably have to do a full blood panel on him just because he's an older dog. I think it's a senior wellness check at this point. He does not like the vet, that one, but he's got to go. Now, the reason I'm using fabric tack here is because the trim itself is fabric, yes. And also this cover is made of wallpaper, which kind of has a fabric vibe going on here. I really don't know what it's made of. Does it say here? No, it doesn't. But this is definitely going to ensure that it stays and it doesn't come apart later. Other than the vet appointment, don't have much else going today, which I'm not mad about. It's nice when you have big empty blocks like that and no pressure to do anything. I don't think I'm going to speed run any of this process today. I think I'm going to play this real time. And that is going to include long periods of silence, my friends. The fact is, when I craft, I'm usually pretty silent. That's pretty much the way I operate, unless I'm filming, and even then. That's why I tend to add a lot of music and fast framed videos. I speed run things in my video because they're long periods of silence, which doesn't bother me, but I know most people don't like that. That looks good. And the best thing about that trim is that it hides or disguises the fact that all of the papers inside the signature are not necessarily cut flush. Some of them peek out. I'm not going to fuss about making sure that they're exactly flush with the cover. I just disguise the fact that they're not. Much easier to do that. And that's what that trim does. And it's also really cute. So we do have, this is definitely the picture I'm going to use for the cover. So I might as well ink that up. Maybe a little bit more. That's good. Let's ink this up. Been thinking on what I want my next project to be. Don't quite know what I want to do. I have this butterfly here. It is part of the, it was an ephemera, like a snippet pack maybe of ephemera by Tim Holtz. I have a container that is used exclusively to store all of my Tim Holtz ephemera, and this was in there. So I thought I would use it again because the size is absolutely perfect. I love that. So let's go ahead and commit. Let's make sure also The wallpaper has some writing on the inside. I just want to make sure that's right side up. I don't think ultimately it would make a difference because I'm sure at some point it will be covered with something, but it'll be some time before that happens. So I really would like to keep it so that it's right side up. I did decide I will be adding metal book corners and a ring fastener to the journal. And that is because when I looked at the metal corners and ring fasteners that I have, the size does work with the journal. And I always feel that the metal corners and ring fastener just give the book a more finished look. That could just be a me thing, but that's my feel on it. And because I am adding the ring fastener to the spine, that means I need to make something. Oops. That butterfly just wanted to go where it wanted to go. So I'm going to let him do what he wants to do. There you go. That's where he wanted to be. Oh, that color looks really pretty on the cover, doesn't it? I love that. So I'm going to set that to the side and let that dry. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the butterfly, because I added the ring fastener, I need to make something to hang from the spine. Or maybe I'll find something in my stash. I don't know. I'll have to look. So now that the cover's done, we should start cracking on the inside here. I have some different stamps and stencils here that I'm going to use. Of course, or Tim Holtz. I have so much Tim Holtz in my stash. These stamp sets are amazing, and I remember I definitely got these at Tuesday Morning. Look at the price. Again, when Tuesday Morning had good things, and I got so many different sets like this. But these are all the different things I'll use to embellish the inside of the book. And I'll tell you more about them as I use them. Like this is another goodie. It's Ornate Trims by Tim Holtz. I've had this one for a good long while too. And you have all these different trims that you can use to create borders. So I'm going to use one of them to create a border across this page here. I'm going to use my archival ink in the color Ground Espresso. Perfect. So we have that done. Something like this I'm not going to embellish. That's just vellum. But anything like this, that's a pattern on one side and blank on the other, I'm going to stamp or stencil on. This one I want to use, here's another goodie that's been in my stash for a little bit as well. I have these remnant rub-ons. I've had these for a while as well. Tuesday Morning. Tuesday Morning was the go-to spot, especially when they had like the Tim Holtz type special events. I love those, but it's basically 2 sheets of these rub-ons that you get, And I'm just gonna rub some on the bottom. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I can never get these perfect. It's probably because I'm not really good at using them, but I find I have better success when I lift as I'm rubbing. For a little bit I couldn't get these to work and I was getting so annoyed, and it was actually ripping the paper when I was lifting it. I would put the whole sheet down, rub, 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 and then lift, and it was so sticky it was ripping the paper up with it, and you can even see bits and pieces of the paper there, and I was getting so frustrated. Then I decided to just change it up a little bit and lift as I rub, as opposed to rubbing, 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 and then doing lift. And that seems to have made all the difference in the world for me. Let's see, I like this kind of postcard. Here, let's use that. Number 5 in there too, right? I actually chucked these in the trash. I got so annoyed. And then pulled them back out and decided to try again. This time change my method of application, and look, glad I fished them back out of the trash. I was getting annoyed. When I get annoyed, you know, I rage. This, especially if a product is not doing what I think it should be doing, I rage and I end up chucking it in the trash, and then level head prevails and I calm down and I'll fish it back out of the trash. I know I have problems. So here we have another where it's pattern on one side, blank on the other. So in this case I'm going to use a stamp from, let's see, where is it from? This set right here. This set. And I don't think I got this one at Tuesday morning, but this is pretty cool. It comes with a stencil and it comes with a stamp. And I'm sure it has a name. Well, there's the little product SKU. This one says Telegram. It's pretty large, so I think what I'm going to do, well, first of all, let's make sure it's on here straight. On the one side, I will, let's get some washi tape. Stamp the top half of the stamp, and then on the other side, I'll stamp. I might be out of frame here for a sec. Boy, I didn't do a very good job inking there, did I? It was very light, but that's okay. I'm not going to stamp that again. That is what it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. And then on this side, I'll stamp the other half of the stamp. definitely stamp on this. And for this one, I am going to use this set. It is called, does this one have a name? Travel. I'm going to use the postage stamp with the airplane and I think the compass. I'm going to use that same archival ink. It's crazy because I have so many different types of inks, and yet I find myself using the same brands over and over and over again. It always goes back to archival ink. I don't use much of the other inks that I have, and I have like Memento, I have Simon Says Stamp, I have Lawn Fawn, I have so many different types of inks and ink pads, but it always comes back to I prefer archival ink, Ranger archival ink. I think what that means is that I need to destash all of these other inks that I have because I'm not using them. Some of them have never been used. They're still sealed. All of my archival inks, on the other hand, used. Always fall back on these inks. I love them. They work for me. I know that they recently released some more of the Tim Holtz colors. Almost stamped that upside down. They released more of those colors in the archival ink formula. I bought them. Absolutely. I did. That looks great. Because I know they will be used. This is some nice coffee dyed paper. We'll leave that alone. And then for this one, we will use a stencil. This is the stencil. Also by Tim Holtz. This one is THS013. And I love it because it's clocks and the gears of a clock. And this will be the center of the signature. So definitely want that to be something other than this bright white. So I am going to use one of my blending brushes so that I get a nice smooth application. I'm not even going to tape this down. Just going to use some pressure to hold everything in place. I'm just going to tap my brush. I'm also going to do an initial tap off so that I don't have any heavy blotches here, and just gently apply. Gotta do like a little bit of a crab walk across the stencil to hold it in place. And look how pretty that is. Very pretty. So that's definitely good with the stamping and stenciling. So I'm going to clean up, come back, and do some pockets and tuck spots. Here's our signature. I think it looks really cute so far. Because this is a small book and I don't want to overdo it, I'm going to keep the number of pockets and tuck spots like that to bare minimum. I'm adding 2 and only 2. So let's find a spot. We'll do it here. Just gonna create pockets on each side, or maybe one will have a pocket and the other one will have a belly band type. Which color do we like better? Kind of like that. Maybe on the one side. But this is really stripy. Stripy on stripy, too much. That pops a little more. Let's go with that. That works. Before I glue that on there, I think I want to embellish that pocket a little. I still have all of these snippet pieces off to the side here. Let's see if we can find something. Yep, we'll go with that. Once I ink that up, it'll pop a little more. That whirling you hear in the background is my washer and dryer. So itty bitty, these pieces. When you ink up tiny pieces like this, you get more ink on your fingers and hands than you do anywhere else. And because I am gluing it onto wallpaper, yeah, you see how that pops a little better? I'm going to use my fabric tack. I think that works. Now let's create, on the flip side, a belly band. Here's this scrap. It could legit be a belly band. Going that way. It's a good way to use up that scrap. Yeah, I think I want to do that. I was going to attempt to even that out some, and I think I made it worse. I cannot cut a straight line to save my life. Doesn't have to be perfect. It will do. It lends character to the book. Let's go with that. I think once I'm done with these pockets, well, one pocket and one belly band, then I can move on to the cover. I'm going to let that dry before adding anything else. before I attempt to tuck anything into the pocket or the belly band. Let's give that a little bit of time to dry. Let's go ahead and embellish this cover while that is drying. This is what the cover looks like. It's very bare right now. No extra adornments. We have to change that. I have some book corners and I have a ring fastener. These are also Tim Holtz. I have these book corners and I have this metal ring fastener right here. So I guess we'll start with the ring fastener. It's the easiest one, right? Make sure this cover is facing the correct way. Yep, stamps top and or to the top. And the spine, I'm going to eyeball the middle, which I think just happens, it just so happened to work out that the middle is this line right here on the fabric going down the middle. And just like that, we have a ring fastener. So I have my book corners now. I have my trusty little hammer. It is going to get loud. Sorry. It's just the way it is. And the reason I chose these colors is because that's what I had. No other reason. I had a set of the silver colored, and I have a set of this coppery brassy color. So I use what I have. So I put a little fabric tack in there, just added security. Don't really think you much need it, but sitting here wondering, thinking, what am I going to do for the spine? What do I have that's already made so I don't have to make something for that spine? And I just remembered that I have some tassels somewhere. They might be too long though, but tassels can be trimmed. But is a tassel too much for this? I don't know. Do I want a simple chain? Probably. But I will give that more thought when I get there. So this is the cover. It looks good. It looks really, really good. Let's see how it would look with the signatures. I think that's a good fit. Let's decorate the inside covers. These inside covers need some decorating. So first thing is first, let's create a ground for our images. Kind of like this. Okay, I did audition some pieces earlier, and I have this mushroom combination with this paper doll combination. I think it's cute, kind of whimsical, odd, curious, all good things in my mind. These little journals are almost like books of curiosities. I was debating what I'm going to do with them, whether I want to keep them, sell them. So don't know where I've landed on that. I'm inclined to keep one, maybe sell the other. Since this is paper on paper, I'm going to use my Monotombo liquid glue. Yeah, I like that. What do you think? I like it. And for the back cover, I have this floral piece and these cuties right here. I think that works really well together. So I'm going to adhere that. I can probably, now that I think about it, I can probably find some sentiments in this Art by Marlene sticky quotes that I can use in these books. Isn't that the sweetest? So cute. And then with the signatures, perfect. That's as much embellishing as I'm going to do to the journal cover itself. I do have to figure out something for the spine, whether I want to add a tassel or create some type of other embellishment to hang from there.